So I'm hoping I only need to push myself a little further. And this whole experience.
Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you are sleeping. As viewers, we have seen many participants on My 600-Pound Life who had quite different perspectives about living a life. Some had toxic human nature traits. Viewers had even witnessed that due to obesity, some participants were living quite miserable lives. In fact, some Dr. Now's patients were quite the opposite, as they were determined to lose weight, but there were some extremely arrogantly spoiled contestants as well. So in today's video, you are going to look at totally insane people featured on My 600-Pound Life. Angela Gutierrez. When Angela Gutierrez appeared on the show, she was 44 years old, and she shared that she had one weight loss surgery in her late 20s, but she started to gain all the weight again, unfortunately. So when she met Dr. Now for the first time, she was weighing 608 pounds. Due to her obesity, Angela had to be dependent on her niece who used to live with her, and not just on her niece, but her kids as well, who help her in performing basic tasks for her, such as cooking or going to the grocery store. By the way, at the start of her appointment with Dr. Now, she seemed quite motivated to lose her weight. However, she appeared unwilling to really transform anything in her life, despite all that, saying that she seriously felt embarrassed and saw herself as a monster because she was seen missing her appointments with Dr. Now. Not only this, she ignored his calls as well. But when Dr. Now managed to contact her via video chat, she claimed that she had lost weight as she was sticking to the diet. But Dr. Now didn't buy her claims, as the bariatric surgeon was quick to point out that she didn't appear to look like she had lost 120 pounds or any weight because she was still on oxygen. Therefore, when she replied that she wasn't lying, Dr. Now called her delusional because instead of trying to prove him wrong, she should have visited him by going to see him. By the way, after some time, Angela eventually made up her mind to drop out of the weight loss program entirely, because according to her, she could continue her weight loss journey on her own, as she already lost a lot of her weight. She does update her viewers on her Facebook page regularly, but it doesn't seem that she even works a little bit or lost any actual weight since her episode has aired. Paula Jones. In 2014, 39-year-old Paula Jones appeared on the show just about 1 year after her husband's death, who had passed away from the same weight-related complications. Her husband's death was certainly a very tragic yet powerful motivation for her, as she herself was on her way to that number of weight her husband had, as her husband weighed over 600 pounds and she was weighing 542 pounds when she started her weight loss journey. She was already worried that if she could die the same way as her late husband, then who would be there for her 4 kids? Therefore, the mother of 4 children finally decided to say goodbye to her obesity by tackling it, and she even moved with her family to Georgia to Houston, Texas, so she could be closer to Dr. Now's place. Well, during this stressful time, Paula actually gained another 17 pounds, and not just that, she also faced a lot of other challenges along her journey. For instance, when she had to work out, it came as the most hardest thing she ever did for the first time. Basically, it was a much harder task than she expected. So for that, she rewarded herself with a burrito afterwards. However, she shed her weight by dropping down to 269 pounds in early 2015 back then. Later, it was revealed by Women's World magazine that Paula Jones achieved amazing results, ultimately by losing 400 pounds.
I am a burden to my children.
James L.B. Bonner. James L.B. Bonner was the participant from season 8, and he weighed in at an incredible 892 pounds. And he also had a huge lymphedema of 100 pounds on his leg, since he was in pretty bad shape. Due to his health complications, Dr. Now generally decided to put him under his supervision for a month at the hospital before sending him to the rehab center where he was supposed to get a better life. During his stay in the hospital, he lost almost 100 pounds, but at the rehab center, he ended up losing just 10 more pounds in 2 months, since James was now able to order takeout. Bonner totally shocked the viewers when the bariatric surgeon confronted him about that. Actually, he totally talked back to him, who was the only one who had been willing to take a chance on him. Not just that, James even claimed proudly that he didn't gain any weight, but Dr. Now replied with the fact that at his weight, he should have lost 100 pounds per month. But James took it differently and said that whatever Dr. No said, it was nothing but just his opinion, despite taking the responsibility. He kept saying, that the actual fact that being in the rehab had made him to be in this condition, as it had put him in a quite bad mental state, which made him binge eat. He even claimed that he wanted to lose the weight at his home, and Dr. Now replied him that if he wanted to, then it all depends on him, as with this kind of attitude, he is not going to go anywhere and he would kill himself with food. On which Bonner replied with the pathetic and definitely attitude of a teenager by saying, "Noted, but at least he finally managed to get his weight loss surgery done by changing his attitude."
Now you've lost control of yourself and you gotta ask for help. I can't believe I've let
Maja Radonovich. Maja Radonovich was 33 years old when she appeared on the show. By the way, she was so big at that time that whenever she woke up every morning, she was thankful to God that during the night, her body hadn't given out. She finally decided to tackle her weight issues because she noticed that it was close to being completely bedridden for a lifetime. Following her and boyfriend Christian's shifting to Houston, although MAGA weight loss slowed down, since then, instead of losing requested 50 pounds in a month, she had only lost 9 pounds. Because of her lack in progress, Dr. Now canceled her weight loss surgery, and additionally, due to the unsupportiveness of her boyfriend Christian, who apparently wasn't seemed to support her for the surgery, that bad news finally resulted in her throwing a temper tantrum. When he was confronted by Dr. Now about not answering his question, Christian simply replied that he had already replied to his questions in the past and also added that he had the right to take a day off. This attitude of him prompted Maja to blame him for her failure to achieve Dr. Now's goal. Then Maja called her mother heartbrokenly and told about Christine's behavior while crying like a toddler.
So I'm hoping I only need to push myself a little further. And this whole experience.
Octavia Gahagins. Dr. Now decided to keep Octavia in the hospital for a while after running some tests on her to reduce her 692-pound weight with a hope to get her able to stand up on her own feet for her betterment and well-being. She finally lost almost 180 pounds after 2 months at the hospital by following a strict diet of 1,200 calories a day. After that, she was supposed to lose at least 30 pounds more and to keep going by following her physical therapy in the next month just after getting discharged from the hospital. But unfortunately, by the next appointment, Octavia did not take this advice on doing more than half of her progress. Later on, in her next episode, there was some tension between her and one of her close friends, so they both decided to have a cheat day so they could chop it. Therefore, they were seen ordering a bunch of Popeye's fried chicken and both enjoyed having them together. Not just that, Octavia, unsurprisingly, also started skipping her therapy appointments and follow-up meetings with Dr. Now. And when she finally appeared on the follow-up appointment with Dr. Now, where she was asked to weigh in, it was revealed that instead of losing 30 pounds, she actually has gained almost 40 pounds more. That means that she wasn't following the diet plan and was cheating on it, and all of her and Dr. Now's progress at the hospital went down the drain.
I love her so much that I give to her. It's hard to tell her no, but this is all we know.
Lee and Renee. 42-year-old Lee and 39-year-old Renee. Both the couple have a huge weight problem when they appeared on the show together. They both used to seem sharing in their food addiction and seem to encourage bad eating behavior in one another. For instance, they both get mad at their helper, who is Lee's sister Casey, if she doesn't make what they want to eat or ask for, just for this sort of single reason. Do you even familiar what's even more pathetic and worse thing related to their situation they were in? Actually, that is. They actually met each other in a bariatric clinic where Lee wanted to change his lifestyle at the place when he started worrying that due to his weight, he is losing his mobility. Even he was aware back then that he needed to get some serious help, but instead of getting that, he met Renee there. Since then, the two fell in love at first sight and left the clinic to become each other's enablers for a lifetime, and lovers who continue to let their overweight spiral out of their control together. But when they made up their mind to join Dr. Now's program, they were enabling themselves into dangerous situations. But despite all that, they were both able to eventually lose weight and get weight loss surgery. Well, Sutton had some anger issues as he was abusive to his partner, both verbally and physically. And all that became evident fairly early on in the show. In fact, the situation became worse, and he was sent to see a therapist by Dr. Now so he could control himself. Before that incident, Dr. Now had criticized Lee because he couldn't stand Lee's unbelievable excuses for losing his weight. When he said that he didn't want to be malnourished, Dr. Now had to say, "Do you look like you're malnourished?" What a waste of Dr. Now's struggle and resources. Well, that's all guys for today, with totally insane people featured on my 600-pound life. Thanks for watching the video.